people attended his public viewing. TJ Holmes is there in Houston for us, spoke with a lot of family members and friends of George Floyd. Good morning, TJ.
Hey, good morning to you, Robin. Millions of people all over the world know his name, but this is where they know him. George Floyd has come home to Houston, where the anger over, the outrage over, and the image of his death now gives way in a few hours to a celebration of his life. And Robin, yes, for the past couple of weeks, we have seen those protesters. We have heard those loud voices in the streets. Yesterday, we saw mourners have quiet, individual moments with George Floyd in church.
After memorial services for George Floyd in other cities, this was his hometown's chance, Houston's chance, to pay its respects at a final public viewing and memorial.
This man whose death has changed the world, he's changed the world. You have to come.
Many mourners, including Texas Governor Greg Abbott, bowed their heads as they stood in front of Floyd's open gold casket. Others dropped down to a knee. Many more wearing shirts with his picture and his words, "I can't breathe."
It was kind of a little overwhelming going inside. I was like, my heart was in my hand.
The number of people allowed in the church at a time was limited to adhere to social distancing guidelines. People were required to wear masks, and gloves also had their temperatures checked as they entered. And among the many who traveled across the country to be here, the families of Ahmaud Arbery and Eric Garner, standing shoulder to shoulder with Floyd's family, showing solidarity in their fight for justice.
Thank y'all. We will get justice. We will get it. We will not let this door close.
Vice President Joe Biden visited privately with Floyd's family earlier in the day. This picture from the family shows Biden with Floyd's 6-year-old daughter, Gianna. And it's not just the church. People also heading to see this mural in Floyd's honor in his old neighborhood, now a place of mourning.
It doesn't look like much now, but this home is now part of the story, the childhood home of the man whose death has now sparked the movement.
It's a door right here.
His childhood friend will be a pallbearer later this morning, remembering the good times.
This was the last house that we stayed in before everybody got grown and started getting their own places. So I stayed in the house with him all my life, same bed, same everything. I've been with him all my life.
Also attending the funeral today, his friend, rapper and community activist Trey the Truth.
How do you balance that in your heart as a friend to know that him not being here might be the catalyst for something we've never seen before?
Yes, it's definitely hurtful that he's gone. He should be here. I feel like he should have been saved. But the fact that he's not is the fact that we have to go 50 times harder to make sure we continue the vision, we continue the direction of where things going.
And the service today is a private funeral, public not invited to this. Vice President Biden will have a taped message that plays, but he will not attend. Did not want the Secret Service and security to kind of disrupt things and cause some inconvenience for the people who are attending. They did have 6,300 people officially come to the viewing yesterday, Robin, and he will be buried, George Floyd, buried today in a cemetery next to his mother.
Yeah, and it's so wonderful that it's going to be a time for the family. You know, it's been so public. And the last images that many people had of George Floyd, I don't have to tell you, we know the last image that many people saw of him. So those 6,300 who were able to see him resting in peace had to be something there, TJ.
Yeah, I had several people mention that in particular, Robin, and if everybody at home, if you just take a moment, if you close your eyes, and I say to you, George Floyd, the first image pops into your mind is going to be him on the ground with a knee on his neck. And several people, no one would ever want to see someone in a casket, but I had several people say to see him at peace was a different image that they now have in their mind that they actually did appreciate, Robin.
Yeah, and what do you think about going forward now that he's going to be laid to rest? We saw the protesters out in Portland, all across the country again yesterday. The feeling is that that will continue for some time?
Well, there's a fear that it might not. There's been anger, outrage, emotion. We've had moments, right? People waiting for an arrest, waiting for things to happen. Well, today he will be laid to rest. What happens tomorrow is some concern. How do you keep this up and make sure this death is not in vain? Concern about it, commitment to continue, but there is some concern, Robin. What happens tomorrow?
But today is the day for George Floyd's family. TJ, thank you. And I want everybody to know that they can tune into our special coverage of George Floyd's funeral today at noon, his homegoing. Amy?
Well, Robin, now to that first court appearance for Derek Chauvin.